Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another session. I'm joined here today with Dr. Amin Davoodi, an assistant professor of bilingual and ESL education at the University of Texas Permian Basin. Dr. Davoodi has 18 years of teaching experience and is widely recognized for his exemplary work with pre-service teachers and English language learners. So thank you so much, Amin, for being here with us today. We're really looking forward to your presentation. And whenever you're ready, you can share your screen and get started.
Thank you so much. So you let me know if you can see the
Yes,
slides. It's working?
that's perfect. Looks great.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Amin Davoodi, Assistant Professor of Bilingual and ESL Education here at the University of Texas Permian Basin in Odessa, Texas. I would like to thank the organizing committee of this conference, the amazing team from Ellii. Especially, I would like to thank Ben, Tatiana, Tanya, Liz, and everybody who invited me to join this amazing conference. And especially, I would like to thank Tanya, who attended my presentation at TESOL International Association and invited me to be an invited speaker here at this amazing conference. So when I was contacted by the organizing committee of this conference about whether I would like to join the conference or not, obviously that was an easy question, so I said yes. And then I thought what I would like to talk about, since the theme of the conference is AI, how we can use technology to improve language learning. Then at that time, it was still it's a hot topic, but at that time it was even more interesting, the emergence of ChatGPT and how it can be used for language learning. So a lot of my colleagues and friends, former students, teachers that I work with, they usually reach out to me. We have all these discussions in our groups to come up with better ideas and strategies how to use AI and ChatGPT in particular. So one of the things that was really, really common among my colleagues and friends and teachers was whether we should use AI and ChatGPT or not, how we can use it, and how it's going to affect their job security in the future. So I thought that would be a good topic to talk about. Then I was contacted by a couple of my former students who are using ChatGPT and other available artificial intelligence tools about the fact that they think using this kind of technology can negatively affect their teaching style, and it can interfere with instructional capabilities, with their even teaching philosophy. So I became really interested in that topic, and I was aware that it wouldn't be very easy to find the solution and the answer. So I decided to do a research study. I know that the audience of this conference, not everyone is a researcher, so we have teachers. That's why I turned this presentation into more like a discussion kind of presentation rather than a research oriented. But I'm going to build upon some of the research that I've been doing on this topic. So the focus on this talk would be on practical strategies for empowering language learning with humanistic approaches to technology and AI. With that introduction, let me just present the outline for my presentation. So I will be talking about AI for language learning. Is it a friend or foe? And that's actually not from me. It's from the amazing Ellii team, because they reached out to me and they wanted to ask a question about my presentation. So that was one of the questions. I was like, wow, that's an interesting one. Then I will be talking about humanistic approaches to AI, and obviously I will provide some examples and practical strategies. I would like to turn this presentation, this talk, into an interactive one. Hopefully I'm able to look at the chat while I'm presenting. So please feel free to engage in the conversation, and you will be able to ask your questions at the end of the presentation as well. So I gathered some of the questions that teachers, especially the ones that I'm in touch with, ask these days about artificial intelligence and ChatGPT in particular. Some of the common questions are, why do we even need artificial intelligence, and how can it make us better teachers? What if artificial intelligence one day it replaces teachers or not? That's a concern that a lot of teachers have. Language teachers have diverse approaches and methods. Can AI accommodate these variations? How can AI ensure that each student receives a personalized learning experience tailored to their needs? And there are many, many other questions about the fact that AI can motivate or demotivate the students. How does it promote uh, group work or individualized learning? How does it affect students' plagiarism or cheating? These are some of the concerns that teachers have these days. So I'm going to touch upon some of these questions, and I think some of you may have similar concerns or questions as well. So the first one, AI-assisted language learning. Just why? Why do we need artificial intelligence? Why do we need even other types of technologies to teach languages? So there's a good amount of research and there's a good body of literature on technology-assisted language learning, but the literature on artificial intelligence-assisted language learning is not that deep, it's not that big enough, and we can understand that, so it's a very new technology. So some of the research findings that I found really interesting are basically based on the fact that we can use artificial intelligence to promote engaging and adaptive language learning. So this is very important. Most of the time teachers, I think it went to the next slide. Okay, so most of the time teachers are worried about motivation, and we all know that motivation plays a crucial role in language learning. So if we have a tool that can promote engaging, adaptive language learning, that can promote motivation, just why not? So we should benefit from it. Also, research suggests that artificial intelligence can enhance learning for students and assist teachers as well. We talk about all the challenges, all the learning, challenges that our students have. We always focus on the students. Rarely we focus on teachers and the issues that teachers face in the classroom. So if we can provide them with more support, if we can provide them with a tool that can assist their teaching, so why not? The third one is to provide personalized language instruction with authentic materials on almost any topic. So this is very important for both ESL and EFL teachers, but more specifically, I would argue that it is very beneficial in EFL context, where a lot of teachers and students do not have access to authentic material. Well, we can argue that these days we have access to the internet, everything can be found on the web. That is true, but still, when it comes to authentic material, especially the ones that teachers use to create activities in the classroom, it is kind of harder in EFL context because you don't have that access, to native speakers of the language or to some authentic material. So it's also great that we can use artificial intelligence for creating activities based on with authentic materials. So these are 3 important areas that I wanted to highlight. So next would be, okay, if I can go to the next slide. Okay. I would like to draw your attention to this image, artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. Unfortunately, most of the time, the argument and the conversation that teachers have when it comes to whether we should use technology or artificial intelligence is based on whether artificial intelligence is better, it's stronger than human intelligence. So I just don't get this argument. I think this is a wrong topic. This is a wrong argument. And I think we're wasting our time by focusing on whether artificial intelligence is stronger, is better, is whatever in comparison to human intelligence, because I don't get it why we are even comparing these two. Because artificial intelligence, the way that I look at it, is a tool that can help us to become better teachers. I'm talking about teaching, okay? Maybe it can help us to become better human beings. I don't know. That's another topic. So I don't get the comparison. I think it's a wrong, it's a wrong question. It's a wrong topic to discuss, and it's just waste of time. Why should we focus this? I don't see us here and artificial intelligence, in front of us, we're arguing, we're competing. I don't see it that way, because it was created by human being. So I think we should be able to look at it as a tool, as another resource that can help us to become better teachers. So because the focus of this presentation is on ChatGPT for obvious reasons, probably it is the most common artificial intelligence tool that teachers use these days. And it's almost free, because there is also a premium version. So I decided also to focus on ChatGPT. But there are some, I would call them some artificial intelligence myth regarding ChatGPT, and I would like to address some of those myths. So one of the things is that a lot of teachers argue whether the way ChatGPT think is in line with teachers and their philosophy of teaching, or the way that a classroom should work. And they always talk about the thinking behind ChatGPT. First of all, we need to understand that ChatGPT cannot think in the way that we as human beings do. So that's very, very important. So when we say thinking, it means that, okay, we are processing some information, we have feeling, we have logic, then we decide to say something based on thousands of factors. We know the person that we're talking to, there's a background to that, so that affects the way we talk, the way we think, the way we do, even the environmental aspects. So everything affects the way we think. However, when it comes to artificial intelligence, that's not the case, because ChatGPT doesn't possess conscious reflection. It doesn't possess awareness, emotion, or subjective experiences. All it does, and it does a really good job, it analyzes the context, patterns, and language structures in the input and generates text. Well, that can be confusing. So what does it mean that it analyzes context, patterns, language structures, predicts? You hear this word predicting word a lot. So what does it mean? Well, let me show you how it works. So this is something that I think all of us, or maybe most of us, have experienced. So when you're typing something on your cell phone, you're texting, your phone recommends a word based on what you wrote. For example, you say thank you so, then there are some options. You can choose much, or in this case variant, so they don't make sense. So thank you so much. How does your phone understand that much would be a good word? It's based on the previous ones. By analyzing thank you and so as a phrase, it recommends that the next word might be much. So this is the same pattern that ChatGPT uses, but multiply this by million, because ChatGPT's input is almost everything on the internet. Uh, Decades of human, text produced by human being. That is the input that ChatGPT receives. So obviously the model is, as I said, a million times bigger than this. But I try to simplify this and show you that this is the way it works. But we also need to bear in mind that ChatGPT is generative and can produce meaningful long sentences and paragraphs, something that our cell phone and the predicting text feature probably cannot do. So now I think this is the fun part of it. The fun part of the presentation begins, because I don't know how many of our students are here, but I'm going to focus on us teachers and some of the mistakes that we make when it comes to using artificial intelligence. And basically, I'm going to self-criticize ourselves, as teachers. And this comes from that research study I was talking about. But again, as this is not a research-oriented conference, so I'm not going to go through the methodology and stuff like that. So I turned it into a more teacher-friendly, conversation. So AI makes language learners lazy. That's from Jack, an EFL teacher in Asia. What does it mean that AI makes language learners lazy? Well, you may create an assignment and ask your students to work on the assignment. They may go ahead and ask ChatGPT to do it for them. So they become lazy. Well, that also in a way promotes cheating, yeah? And also we can argue that AI can interfere with teachers' instructional, model or teaching philosophy. But I wanted to dig deeper and see why this particular teacher believed that using artificial intelligence in ChatGPT can promote laziness or cheating, which is a main concern. I can see in the chat that Matthew also agrees that this is a major concern for academic world. Well, I think the problem is not artificial intelligence, or in this case, ChatGPT. The problem is that probably we as teachers, I'm including myself as well, because I'm learning, we as teachers probably don't know how to use artificial intelligence. Okay, let me rephrase what I said. Probably we as teachers we are not still good at personalizing language learning experiences based on artificial intelligence. What I mean? Well, let's look at this one. This is the assignment, one of the assignments that the same teacher created. And based on that experience, he's arguing that artificial intelligence and ChatGPT can promote laziness, and it can, promote cheating and plagiarism and stuff like that. So as you can see here, the assignment says, using ChatGPT, write a 500-word essay discussing how, as global citizens, we can play a role in creating a cleaner Earth with reduced waste. So this is good. This is a good assignment, and I'm glad that Jack was able to actually include ChatGPT as a learning tool, as a learning resource in this assignment. So for this one, I actually commend Jack, and I appreciate what he's doing for his students. He's trying to use this new technology, ChatGPT, to provide new learning experiences for his students. But there is a problem here, and the problem is the way that he structured the assignment. So I'm going to read it again, and then I'm going to ask the audience one question. Using ChatGPT, write a 500-word essay discussing how, as global citizens, we can play a role in creating a cleaner Earth with reduced waste. So this is the assignment, and based on this assignment, Jack argued that ChatGPT can make students lazy and it can promote cheating and plagiarism. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to share your ideas in the chat, and I would like you to tell me why I'm arguing that the reason that those students cheated, using Jack's words, is because of the way that this assignment was poorly designed. So I would like to see if you have any ideas why I'm arguing that the nature of the assignment created that laziness. Okay. Someone says because they asked, the teacher asked them to use ChatGPT. No instruction on how to use ChatGPT. That's a good point. The prompt. Okay, so let me clarify. This is not the prompt. This is the actual assignment that the teacher gave students. No instruction again. The assignment doesn't have enough detail, maybe a rubric. All of these are amazing comments. Thank you so much. The problem is that the assignment tells the students to use ChatGPT. The assignments should indicate the specific ways that the students should use it, but it is not. So that's not how it works. That's by Melissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for your comments. Most of you are right. The problem with this assignment is that although it is including ChatGPT as a good resource, it is not providing enough information on how students can use it. To be honest, If I was in Jack's class, I would probably do the same thing that his students did. I would ask ChatGPT to write a 500-word essay discussing how, as global citizens, we can play. Exactly, copy paste the assignment. Yes, Jenny said it's not specific enough. That is true. Okay, so I want to show you what happened after this assignment. Okay, so let me go back to the next slide. Okay. Yes, this is it. So this is what a student with lower intermediate proficiency in an EFL context produced because of that assignment by ChatGPT as his work. In an era defined by unprecedented environmental challenges, our responsibility as global citizens transcends geographical boundaries. So, and those words which are highlighted, they are underlined in red. Those are the ones that Jack was kind of sure that the student probably doesn't even know the meaning of those words, doesn't know how those words should be used in a sentence. So that's why he knew that it was all coming from ChatGPT, and it wasn't the student work. And obviously, Jack, as the teacher, was able to compare this with previous writing assignments and realize that this is not pure writing written by that student. So I'm going to argue that Jack, and basically in this example, we had 3 different issues. So the first one was lack of assignment guidelines. The second one was absence of a model example for students to follow. And the third one, which I think is the most important one, is product versus process. What do I mean by that? When it comes to writing, this is my personal opinion. I think the process is as important as the product. Okay, I can rephrase that. I think the process is even more important than the product. By just asking them to write using ChatGPT, we will be able to only analyze the final product, which is a good one. We know ChatGPT is good at least for this kind of writing, at that level. ChatGPT is good at producing that kind of text. So I think that's a huge problem. Again, lack of assignment guidelines. A lot of you mentioned that in the chat. Absence of a model example for students to follow. And again, the focus of the assignment was on the product, not the process of writing. It is through analyzing the process and the habits of the students, second language learners in particular, when it comes to writing, that we can understand the challenges that they are facing and also the mistakes that they make and how they come up with the strategies to compensate that. So in the previous assignment, if I can go back to the assignment, here we do not see any guideline, we do not see any sample, we do not see anything about the process of writing. Everything focuses on the product. And that's why the final outcome probably doesn't have anything from the student himself or herself. Okay, so, well, I introduced the challenge. I think I identified the issues, the problems. Now is the time to recommend how we can revise that assignment. Okay, so look at the first one. Write a 500-word essay discussing how, as global citizens, we can play a role in creating a cleaner Earth with reduced waste. Then paste your essay into ChatGPT and give it the following prompt. So what is the difference here? Here, not only does the teacher ask students to use ChatGPT, but also the teacher provides step-by-step guideline. So first you need to write a 500-word essay discussing how you will help the environment yourself. That's it. Then this is what you're going to do with ChatGPT. This is the prompt. The prompt says, I'm an English language learner with lower intermediate proficiency. I wrote this essay to discuss my role as a global citizen in contributing to a cleaner earth with reduced waste. Please review my essay, identify any mistakes, grammatical, punctuation, etc., and provide corrections. Then revise the assignment by correcting my errors without rewriting the entire essay. So, first, we asked the students to write 500-word essay. Everything by the students. Then, this is the prompt. The teacher gave the students the prompt, and what do the students need to do now? So they go ahead, they paste their essay and the prompt, and this is what happens. ChatGPT is going to give them a revision of their essay, all the mistakes and corrections, so now they can compare their own essay and the one that ChatGPT wrote based on their own essay. So it's not a new thing. That's why at the end of the prompt, it says without rewriting the entire essay. Well, how do we know that the students did this? Look at the third part of the assignment. Please submit your essay along with the list of mistakes identified by ChatGPT, the recommended corrections, and the revised version of your essay incorporating ChatGPT's suggestions. So here we will be able to see the process as well, because the students will need to submit their original essay, the one written by themselves, all the mistakes identified by ChatGPT, and obviously the corrections, and finally the revised essay. So they need to provide three different things, and we will be able to see the process in that case. So this is what happens when you follow that model. I'm a student living from Asia. I think I can help the environment, and you can see all the typos and everything, not capitalizing I, and the Earth planet to be cleaner by not waste trash or throwing away trashes on the ground. Although I always try to help the environment, but I know that I can doing more through learning how separate different kinds of trashes. Okay. So what was the guideline? The guideline was to write the essay. This is what we see here. And then paste it to ChatGPT with that prompt. And this is ChatGPT's response. I made the following corrections. Capitalize I at the beginning of sentences and I am. Change from to in to indicate your location properly. Replace the environment with the environment. Corrected earth to earth, capitalizing it. Added or to by not waste trash to throwing away trashes. Replaced doing with do in I can doing more. Corrected how separate to how to separate. Capitalized although at the beginning of the sentence and deleted but. So here's your revised essay with corrected errors. I'm a student living in Asia. I believe I can contribute to a cleaner environment and planet Earth by not wasting or littering trash on the ground. Although I always try to help the environment, I know that I can do more by learning how to separate different kinds of trash. See what happened here? The student is able to see the mistakes, the corrections, a revision of his essay, while still he's the one who is writing the essay. And guess what? As the teacher, we are also involved in the process, not just the product. I think this is a great feature of ChatGPT that we can, play around with the prompt and create opportunities for us as teachers to learn more about the process and what's going on in that process of second language writing. And also it provides a unique opportunity for students to be able to see how the writing can be improved using artificial intelligence. In a way, as Fernando said in the chat box, ChatGPT becomes our teaching assistant. So in this case, now I'm going to ask this question from the audience. So with what I recommended, like this practical strategy, do you think now ChatGPT can make our students lazy? Does it contribute to plagiarism? I don't think so. It's us as teachers. It is our responsibility to provide an opportunity and to turn ChatGPT into a useful resource. Just compare what happened here, like after giving the prompt and everything to ChatGPT, with the original assignment. You just go ahead, write 500-word essay, discuss this using ChatGPT. That's not going to work. We need this model. We need to ask the students to write the essay. We need to provide, as the teacher, provide the prompt, and also we need to ask the students to submit the process, not the product, to us. We want to see the first draft. We want to see the list of all the issues that ChatGPT identified. Probably the teacher even identifies more. Who knows? And also we want to see the revised version of their essay. Okay, so let's move on. Sarah, an EFL teacher in the Middle East, told me that AI promotes individual learning rather than group learning. So that was very interesting when I heard that. I was like, well, I never thought about that. How does ChatGPT promote individualized learning isolation? How does it demote group work and teamwork in class? What's the evidence? Well, so I did another research into this to figure out why Sarah believed that AI promotes individual learning, demotivates students, and AI basically means self-study. So here's what happened. Let me show you. This was the prompt that Sarah used to create a game for her class using ChatGPT. So here we are not dealing with something that the students did. This is the teacher wanted to use ChatGPT to come up with a creative game for language learning in her class. So this is the prompt that she used. Create a game for my elementary language learners using the following word list. I didn't paste the list, but it was a very long list of words related to cooking and kitchen and everything like that. And this is what happened. This is the ChatGPT's response. Learners are given a set of ingredients, blah, blah, blah. They must construct grammatically correct sentences using these elements. I chop the potatoes and cook them in the pan. So basically asking the students to make sentences with the word list, which is not that creative, which is true. In a way, it promotes, individualized learning. Each of you need to, make 5 sentences with these words. Again, in that case, it is true. ChatGPT is promoting, self-studying or individualized, isolated learning, whatever we want to call it. However, just by revising the prompt, we can come up with a very creative, collaborative game for this exact same word list. Let's look at it. This is the revised prompt that I recommended. Design a group game for elementary language learners using the following word list. Again, the same word list about cooking and everything. Aiming to engage all the students in the class and foster collaborative learning. Well, it is true. When it comes to artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, you get what you ask for. Here's what I got. Cooking Vocabulary Team Challenge. That's the name of the game or the assignment, as you want to call it. I'm not going to go through the whole process of this game and everything, so I highlighted some of it. You see, team formation. The beginning of the assignment asks the students to create teams, or the teacher to divide the class into different teams. Teams must take turns building a sentence collectively. It's not like we have 5 teams and only one student in the team is going to report. No, they have to take turns building a sentence collectively. Look at the next one, collaborative sentence creation. The game proceeds as teams continue to add to the sentence in a relay fashion. Students must actively listen to their teammates, so it promotes listening and participating in group discussion. Look at the next one, very interesting, rotation and variation. After completing one sentence, teams rotate to the next set of vocabulary words and continue the process, so each of them get a chance to practice all the words. Peer assessment, who is going to evaluate, who is going to encourage? Again, the students. The teacher needs to encourage teams to assess the sentences constructed by other teams for accuracy and fluency. You see, it is the same ChatGPT. I do not have a special subscription to it. I do not have a weird secret version of it. It's just a prompt. We as teachers need to learn how to ask our teaching assistant, which in this case is an artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, to produce engaging and collaborative learning experiences for our students. Okay, so let me see what I've got here. Because I don't want to go over the time, because I would like to answer most of your questions. Okay, I think we still have enough time. One of the things that a lot of teachers nag about, even researchers recently have touched upon it, is the fact that artificial intelligence, well, doesn't have feelings. Or does it? That's another interesting conversation that we can have. So if it doesn't have any feelings, and if AI-assisted assignments do not convey any enthusiasm and empathy, in that case, all the activities that they create are not as good as the ones that are created by human beings. And they can be very monotonous, mechanistic, boring, all these negative things that we can say about ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. Well, I don't know if I agree with all these. I think I kind of disagree with all of them. Okay, and I tell you why. I try to provide as many evidence as possible, samples and examples and everything, because I love data and I would like to back up my claims with data. Look at this sample. I'm going to explain later what this sample is and how I got this and everything. So I'm going to give you like 1 or 2 minutes to read this, and then we will discuss it. In the meantime, I'm going to check the chat box. Okay, so I assume that at least you got a chance to look at this sample. So let's just read it together. John, I'm writing to address a serious concern regarding your performance in the course. I've noticed that you haven't submitted any assignments and there has been no communication from your end. Completing assignments and maintaining open communication with your instructor are fundamental aspects of your academic responsibilities. Neglecting these obligations affects not only your progress, but also your overall learning experiences. I expect immediate action on your part. You must submit any overdue assignments promptly and establish regular communication with me to discuss your academic progress and any challenges you may be facing. Failure to address this matter promptly will have significant consequences for your standing in the course. I strongly advise you to take this email seriously and make the necessary changes to your approach immediately. I expect to see a substantial improvement in your engagement and performance in the course without further delay. Contact me at your earliest convenience to discuss your plan of action. Okay, so yes, you're right. It uses negative action. It's not that kind. It's very assertive and aggressive. So let's go to the next sample. And by the way, those red phrases, I wanted to highlight them because I think they are the ones that tell us that this has a very strong, tone to it, kind of angry in a way, assertive. May not be that aggressive, but assertive. And well, we may all agree that this is not very kind. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So I want to give you a minute to read this as well. Okay, as you can see here, the tone absolutely changed. So let's just read this together. Dear John, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out to discuss some concerns I have regarding your progress in the course. I've noticed that you haven't yet submitted any assignments and there hasn't been any communication from your end. I genuinely care about your success in this course and I'm here to help. I understand that various challenges can sometimes impact the student's ability to stay on track with their coursework. My primary goal is to assist you in overcoming any obstacles you may be facing. Especially focus on this part. I kindly request that you can get in touch with me as soon as possible to let me know what might be causing the delay in your assignment or if there are any questions or concerns you would like to discuss. Understanding the issues you are facing will enable me to provide you with the necessary support and guidance. And the rest of it. So as a couple of you mentioned in the chat box, this is way softer, more empathetic. It is convincing in a way. I'm just using your words, in the chat, which are amazing. I appreciate your participation. So I'm not gonna say this is the better one, that one is horrible, this is the best. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you get what you ask for. So again, here we have another example. A chat GPT is able to produce the same message in two different ways. So whenever you're giving a prompt to chat GPT, at the end you can say, have, I don't know, a friendly tone or a formal tone, informal tone, or you can, I've tried this, you can even say, write it that shows in a way that shows my anger or my frustration. So you get what you ask for. So having said that, going back to this question that AI doesn't have feelings, well, what do we mean by that? Do we mean that it doesn't understand the meaning of love, compassion, kindness? In that case, yes, AI is not a human being. But I think a lot of people, when they say AI doesn't have feeling, they mean that it cannot reflect feelings, which is not necessarily true. It all depends on what we are asking AI to do. So if we are asking it to be compassionate, to be angry, to be assertive, aggressive, it can do that. So in that sense, I argue that AI does have feelings. It all depends on how we are using it and whether we know what kind of prompt we need to provide to, for example, ChatGPT in this case. At the end of the presentation, before going to the questions and answers, I wanted to show you this picture. And I want to give you, like, we only have 1 minute probably. I want to give you 30 seconds to guess why I added this picture to my presentation. What's the relationship between this and my presentation and my main argument? So I want to see if anyone can guess in the chat box. Examine more closely how you're using AI. Keep researching AI. Look further. Okay, pay attention. Thank you so much. A lot of amazing ideas. Here's what I mean by this picture. A lot of people ask me what kind of technology we can use to become a better teacher, especially in a lot of developing countries. As soon as they know that you live, for example, in the United States, they think that, okay, there are a lot of technologies probably in the US that They don't exist in other countries. So they say, what kind of technologies we can use to become better teachers? And I always tell them, technology doesn't make you a better teacher or a worse teacher or a good teacher or a bad teacher. It only magnifies who you are as a teacher. So if you are a good teacher, it will definitely make you a better teacher. If you are a bad teacher, it will definitely make you a worse teacher. I've seen some of the worst teachers in my life who are tech savvy, and they use technology in a way to become a worse teacher. So here's what I argue. This is artificial intelligence, as it only magnifies who you are as a teacher. If you're a good teacher, your pedagogy is good, you will become a better one. If not, probably it will even make you a worse teacher. Always and always, pedagogy comes first. Technology is just a tool. Thank you so much for your time. And this is the references. And I would like to thank Ellii and everyone in the organizing committee again. And that's my email address in case you would like to get in touch with me.
Great. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Amin, for that presentation. There was tons of interaction in the chat and lots of great questions coming in the Q&A. So I think we've got time to answer some of these. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, and before I forget, Liz, what a great MC you are. So I would like the audience to give you a virtual round of applause for doing an amazing job during this conference. Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Do you want me to stop sharing my screen?
Sure, let's do that. You can stop sharing your screen.
Yes, and by the way, this is my office. This is a robot. That's here. This is another robot. So everything is about technology and books here. So
very cool.
And also, I would like to thank Ellii for this beautiful T-shirt. See, it looks amazing.
It does. It does. And we're going to be giving away one of those T-shirts to someone in the audience very soon. So
cool.
We'll get to that shortly. Okay, let's start with some of our questions. I'm just going to go with the ones that are most popular here.
Okay.
I'll throw this first one on stage for you. It says, what AI tools can boost cultural understanding in language learning? And how can we smoothly incorporate them into our lessons?
This is a great question. Thank you so much, Natalia from Sao Paulo, Brazil. I think it touches upon the core essence of my presentation. There is no AI tool in the world that can boost cultural understanding if the teacher doesn't have that cultural understanding. So I would revise the question, how can we promote cultural understanding of our students, even teachers if you are a teacher educator, with AI? First, we need to develop that cultural understanding and use any AI or any technology to boost that. So asking this question, whether there is like a magic secret tool that can promote multiculturalism or anything, that doesn't exist. It all comes from us, and we can use all these tools to promote them. ChatGPT would be a good one. There are hundreds of others as well.
Excellent. Great. Thank you for that answer. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Okay, it says, there is a strong divide at my college between those who advocate for AI in the classroom and those who are strongly opposed. The main objection seems to be that students will use AI to cheat, especially in writing. How would you address these concerns?
Thank you, Robin, for the question. Just share my presentation with them. The problem is that they focus on the product so much, they forget the process, you know? And to be honest, you think without AI or ChatGPT, students cannot cheat? You know, cheating, is it a new subject? Is it a new topic in 2023? So they can cheat if they want using different methods. Our skill as teachers should be to build upon ChatGPT and artificial intelligence to make it a learning tool. I hate it when I see teachers, educators, professors at universities who have like an AI policy in their syllabi these days. saying that using artificial intelligence is prohibited. It's insane. It's like telling me to go and use that old-fashioned dictionary and not use the dictionary on my phone. Are you crazy? Don't ask me to do that. I'm not going to use that book. I like the dictionary in my phone. So it's the same thing. I think you should probably ask them to watch a very brilliant documentary on refrigerators, how people were resistant to use refrigerator and vacuum cleaner. It's the same thing. At the beginning, if they don't have enough knowledge, they're just scared. But you should be able to kind of educate your colleagues that this is a tool, this is a resource. We should promote it. And guess what? By ignoring it, we are contributing to having more students cheating using ChatGPT. If we don't ignore it and include it as a resource, as a learning tool, I guarantee you that the number of students misusing it would drop.
Interesting. Very interesting. I agree with that. And now I'm curious about this refrigerator documentary. So you're going to have to share more information.
See, Charles is gonna make millions of dollars from selling T-shirts using my code. Cheating is not new, so that was a good one.
Okay.
The documentary on refrigerator vacuum cleaner, someone is asking, it's on YouTube. I wanted to include it in my presentation. I knew that would be challenging with the video and everything. Just search on YouTube, you will find it. It's amazing.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another question here. Okay, what's the most mind-blowing real-life example you've seen where technology and AI transformed a class from boring to engaging, especially with after-class activities?
Well, that's a very good question. A lot of examples came into my mind. One, which is very interesting to me, it's not about a class, it's about someone, an EFL learner in a remote area in Asia that I know, who is using ChatGPT to learn English. That's not in a class, but I think the example is so good, I'm going to mention that one. She's using ChatGPT to check her speaking skill because there is no teacher, no one in her family, and she doesn't have access to any resource when it comes to like having a teacher. She is obviously connected to the internet, and that's a great resource, but there are no English classes, no teacher, no one in her family. The way that I was able to help her, I asked her to use Google Doc, which is free. Everyone uses Google Doc, but there is a feature in Google Doc that you can record your voice. Basically, you can voice type. Okay, so she talks about her everyday life, topics, and everything, and Google Doc automatically types that. She pastes that into ChatGPT. I gave her several different prompts, like the ones that I showed you, telling ChatGPT her level, identify the issue. How would you, as a native speaker, for example, say the same thing? What kind of phrases would you use? So she is doing amazing, and I think it's one of those examples that can be shared with a lot of people who doubt that AI and artificial intelligence can contribute to equity in education as well.
That's a really interesting prompt. I like that idea. I can see for students trying to use some of these AI tools on their own to study outside the classroom.
Yeah.
Create a sentence on your own and then say, how would you ask this question? How would you say this question from a native speaker? That's a really cool idea. I'm going to remember that one. That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we've got time for one more question, and then
Sure.
we're going to have to wrap up and do our t-shirt draw. So here's our last one. Does the lack of emotional connection make AI less effective than human interaction for teaching and language learning?
Okay, so let me ask this question. Is AI going to communicate with our students? No. It will be teachers, students, activities. So if there is anything missing regarding emotional connection, that's on us. Again, AI, artificial intelligence technology, is just a tool that we can use to create activities which are based on emotion, based on culture and everything. So if that is missing, that's on us. It's not the AI, because AI doesn't have feeling. It just doesn't understand. We need to ask it.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, guys, I think it's time to do our draw. That's all the time we have for our Q&A, but don't forget that Dr. Davoodi will be at the presenter table. So if we didn't get to your question, please make your way over there and then you can talk to him directly. Okay. Oh.
And Liz, do you still hear me?
I can hear you, but your camera just turned off. Do you want to try turning it off and on quickly? And
I don't know what
hopefully
happened. I'm gonna fix
Yes.
that, but so I don't see the option to go back to the backstage.
Oh, we're not there yet. That's
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're
Cool.
still gonna do our draw, but I do want you to show off that cool T-shirt. So let's see if we can get your camera
That's so
working.
weird. Let me. Okay.
We'll just give him a second to sort this out. No problem. Yep, just turn it back off and on, and your camera should probably work. Maybe while we're waiting, I'll just remind you guys about some of these awesome other prizes that you could be winning. We are going to do the draw for the T-shirt in a second, but don't forget about the leaderboard. The leaderboard tab is just at the top. You can see your current rank. And you can still earn tons of points. Maybe actually we can share that in the chat. Let's see who our top 3 people are at the moment. There they are. Excellent.
Is it working now again?
Oh, yes, you're back.
Cool.
Excellent. Okay, great. So let's do our draw for the Ellii t-shirt. Do you want to just model that for us a little bit?
Of course. I wish I was in better shape, but
that looks great.
that
Just
I
like
got
that.
from ElliiCon 2023. So
Awesome.
my size is medium. You can get the size that you want.
Yes, you can get whatever size you want. So here we go. Amin, if you could read the winner for us, please.
The winner of this guest speaker session is Mirella M. from Canada, where Ellii is, I think. Ellii is headquartered in Canada, yeah?
That's correct. Way to
Okay,
go.
congratulations, Mirella.
Congratulations. And we'll be in contact with you very soon to organize your t-shirt. So again, leaderboard we already just looked at, but make sure that you're still trying to get as many of those points as you possibly can before the end of the day, because we will give out those 3 prizes. Please make sure you join in the conversation online on social media using our hashtag ElliiCon2023. And don't forget to fill out that survey, our event attendee survey, again, for your chance to win a 1-year subscription to Ellii. Okay, it's time for us to go to our tables. So head on over to the social lounge. You have 15 minutes now to interact with Amin at our presenter table and some of the Ellii staff at our other tables. We also have 2 very special guests with us, Anna and Shay Lin from the Teacher Think Aloud podcast at one of our tables. They'll be discussing their podcast series, which is an incredible resource for language teachers. So make sure you drop in and say hi, learn a little bit more about their podcast series. Coming up next, we have Jen Artan from our publishing team leading a lunch and learn session on how to use Ellii to teach life skills. So don't miss out on this super useful session. Thanks again, Amin, and we will see you back here in 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great, thank you. Ellii.